So hello, we're in Kars now, in eastern Turkey, eastern Anatolia near the Armenian border, and we're staying in a hotel here in the centre, and we just spent one night here after arriving on the famous double express train from Ankara. So on Friday evening we set off on a 29-hour train journey across Turkey, across Anatolia from Ankara to Kars. And it was a crazy experience, definitely one we do not regret. Really enjoyed it. Once in a lifetime experience for us as slow travellers looking to travel overland without flying. So yeah, we set off from Ankara Friday evening. First evening on the train, we're in a 4-person cachette room compartment, sharing with an old Turkish man and a man, very nice man from Jordan. Distance-wise, I mean, as a crow flies, it'd probably be about 1,000. But I think, as the joke goes, the train lines in Turkey were built by the Germans, and they were paid by the kilometre. So they're very windy around the mountains, all the trail tracks. So I think we probably covered a good 1,500 kilometres. I wouldn't be surprised. Need to be checked. But yeah, and at a price of €10 per person, so about 200 lira per person. It's an absolute bargain, let's be honest, for us coming from Western Europe with a Western European currency such as the euro. I think we were probably the only non-Turkish people on the train, which really added to the experience. A lot of people opt for the touristic Doğu Express, Eastern Express, in my broken Turkish, because it's a bit more comfortable. There's more stops, you can get out, explore some areas, you have private compartments for 2 people. But we wanted the really authentic experience, so we went with the classic Eastern Express, and therefore we were the only tourists on board this time, I believe. But it was great. We got to meet people. People so friendly. Turkish love to share food. Yeah, they just love to get to know you, ask you where you're from. So we communicated, even with the old man, compartment. We tried to use translate a bit and just try and communicate as much as we could. Even when we didn't understand, we just nod and try and be polite. And people shared food, like you say. People gave us apricots and cucumber, and we'd go to the restaurant compartment, which there wasn't much cooked food, but there's a few snacks and tea, so we drank some chai and just sat there, met people, looked at the breathtaking views which we're going to share with you. So I just want to talk about the pros and cons of taking this train, and I guess we'll compare it to, you could compare it to the bus, you could compare it to a flight, really, so we're comparing to the main competitors. So the main pros, I would say, is firstly, it's an unbelievable experience. I'm a strong believer that travel is about the journey, not the destination. And with this Eastern Express train, that's really true. You see so much, you see changing landscapes as you go along, you meet different people from different cultures, different parts of Turkey. So the experience, and of course the landscapes. The first thing, yeah, the experience. Second thing, the scenery, the landscapes, absolutely beautiful, stunning. Perfect Harry Potter scene here. Third thing, price, incredible value. Really, really good value. I mean, we paid €10, as I said, per person. If you divide that by the number of hours, it comes to like 30 cents an hour on the train. It's very good with a bed. Fourth Pro, obviously carbon footprint, as most of you know, traveling by train has much lower carbon footprint than flying, so that is one of the main reasons to travel by train, so that's one of the advantages. Bus travel also can have a low carbon footprint. Usually the train is low. I don't know the exact specifics of Turkish trains. I mean, in Europe the train is always lowest because electrified lines in Turkey. I would need to check that, but definitely a low carbon footprint than flying. I think that sums up the pros, right? Another pro, I guess, is you can bring as much luggage as you want. You don't have to worry about what you're bringing. Say you're flying, you know, you're limiting space. You can bring all the liquids you want. In terms of the cons, so I would say hygiene. The toilets leave a lot to be desired on Turkish trains. I won't go into too much detail about that, but the smells can be unpleasant. And yeah, depends on the toilets. Some of them were better, some were worse. Some had Turkish squat toilets, some of them had normal European toilets. So that's the first one. Second one, yeah, just general like cleanliness, let's say, or like personal hygiene, because obviously with time you get sweaty, you feel a bit uncomfortable, you can't take a shower, you can't really wash. So that's another thing. If you're really into your personal hygiene, that can be a problem. But then obviously there's always the option to break up the journey into a shorter journey, because it's true 29 hours is really, really long. Which brings up to the third point, it's also the length. It's a very, very long journey, very long. Some can say, and it can be hard to beat. Fourth con, I guess, sleep. I mean, for us it's not so bad. We manage to sleep well on trains. Maybe people are not so comfortable sharing with other people, or the fact obviously the train stops in the 9 different places. That can be a con. Maybe you don't get a full night's sleep. But over the journey, I mean, you have so many opportunities to sleep. Right? We also took some naps in the afternoons, in the evenings, so it was okay. Fifth con is that since COVID they don't do any cooked food, which is a shame. But they do have cheap tea, coffee, sandwiches, snacks. To add. You can adjust the aircon, you can adjust the heater, but yeah, sometimes you have to be careful, maybe someone switches on or whatever, or it doesn't work so well, so keep an eye on that. Yeah. But the other window, you can open the window, get some fresh air.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you can, if you want more privacy, you could just create 2 fictional people and book the whole 4-bed couchette, and then you have a lot more privacy, a lot more space. But then obviously, for us, from an ethical point of view, we weren't too sure, because we felt it's a shame to book 2 seats that 2 local Turkish people would need to travel on. Obviously the train gets booked up a lot, it's a very popular route, so booking tickets is really, really difficult, by the way. Well, quite difficult. If you want to book it yourself, check tickets regularly, always keep checking so things become available, because travel agencies book up all the tickets and then sell them at a higher price. So if you want to guarantee a ticket, you can buy it through an agency and pay a bit more. But if you want to buy yourself, like we did, just always, every day, have a look a few times a day. Tickets do become available. If you try hard enough, I'm sure you'll get tickets. But yeah, it's always an option. If you think it's the right thing to do, you can book for bed, compartment. It all depends on your perspective, but I think if you're really looking for that private experience, more touristic experience, then I'd probably recommend the touristic Doğu Express. Then you could have some stops, you can see things, and even though it's more expensive, I don't know, maybe I think it's around 80-90 euros. I mean, it's still reasonable for the journey, so that's another good option for some. Overall feelings, great experience, great experience. Long though, like I love train travel, I've loved all my journeys. This one was very long, very long. As we discussed, I think with a journey that's 24 hours over, like it's nicer to start in the morning, have a full day, then sleep, and then arrive. Whereas when you sleep and then you have another day, you have a rough night of sleep maybe, and then you have another day ahead of you on the train, is quite tough. But But no, I'm really happy we did it.
But in this express, this line, they don't have any other options, right?
No
It's
options. This is the times. Also, if you're doing the other direction, cost to Ankara, it would be setting off in the evening too. But of course, if you want to do part of the journey, you can also go to Erzurum, or set from Erzurum, stop in Sivas. There's lots of nice places along the way. Anatolia has a lot to offer. I mean, most people come to Turkey, of course, mostly see the west. We see Istanbul, see Izmir or Antalya and the coastline generally. But it's interesting to go more inland, get a different cultural experience. Yeah, 10 out of 10 for a cultural experience.
Yeah, and also the view was stunning. That's something.
The views. But talking about the views, if you're going to get the best views, everyone says come in winter when it's covered in snow. Absolutely breathtaking. But in summer, it's also lovely. We go for canyons. Through green, lush mountains. Through different towns and cities where you've got little kids waving at the train.
Or throwing in.
Or throwing stones. She got a stone thrown at the our compartment, which was a bit scary, but of course the windows luckily didn't break and held strong. I think that was very unusual experience. That probably won't happen to you.
And that's all.
That is all.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for watching.